Today I'm attempting to fix the rear defrost on my 2004 Chevy Trailblazer. I'll take you out there and show you what I'm looking at real quick. You got a vehicle like this. These back wires have metal tabs that fit right there on both sides, and they come loose. They're soldered on. So I took the metal bracket off of here and we'll head back inside. So I bought some adhesive from O'Reilly's that's supposed to work, but it has to be above 50 degrees. It's winter time and we might see 50 degrees this weekend if we're lucky. Anyway, I watched a guy on YouTube who has a shop in New York. He's really good at fixing stuff, and this is how he does it. Now, you see the fingernail clippers there. Those are toenail clippers, so they're pretty big. You see the two pieces of metal here. One here and one there. Now I tried to get them as level as possible, and what I'm going to attempt to do, I already put a little bit of flux. I sanded them a little bit, put some flux on them, and now I'm going to try to put some drops of solder on them. And then you let that cool, which won't take long, and then you hold those brackets up where they were with like a metal screwdriver or a pair of pliers onto the back glass, and then you heat it up with the soldering gun and melt the solder that you put on these, and then let that cool, and they'll be resoldered onto your windshield or your back window. So let me see if I can get some solder on these. Now, I hardly ever solder, but my wife solders for a living, so I probably should wait till she gets home, but I'm going to attempt it. So let's see what happens. I'll back that up just a little bit. I've got my soldering gun here heated up, and I've got some solder. Let's see if we can put a few drops on here without making too big of a mess. I don't know. Maybe you have to heat the metal up. It seems like it's got some solder on it. Let me pull this out just a little bit more. If I can do it without burning my finger. That seems to work. Maybe. Okay, I think it definitely has some solder on it. Unplug that. Let that cool off. Oh, get you in there close. I'm not going to touch it right now because I'm sure it's lava hot. So it looks like there's a layer of solder on there. As much as I can get on there. Hopefully it's enough to hold it onto the glass. If it doesn't work, I'll have my wife attempt it. I'm just not... It looked like there was a layer of solder on there. Now that it's cooled, I can hardly see it. But I'm going to let this cool a little bit. Now it's really cold outside, like 30, maybe 35 degrees. I'm going to attempt to do this. I just don't know if it'll work or not. I'll have to take the soldering iron out, plug it into an extension cord, and maybe hold that on with either a pair of needle nose or a screwdriver, and then heat it up, see if it sticks to the back glass. We'll find out here shortly. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I got my extension cord out here. I got the soldering iron plugged in. I've got my... Don't be melting anything. Got my tripod set up here so I can film it. I'm gonna have to reach up. It's about, with the door open, it's 6.5 feet up there. So I've got some needle nose pliers. I'm gonna try to grab hold of that. You can see where it was, I don't know, almost looks like the solder ran down there to that joint. That's what it looks like. Maybe not, hopefully not, maybe part of it. Anyway, I'm gonna hold that up there and then try to get some solder heated up, or the solder heated up, see if it sticks. Once it cools off, then you can plug it back in. So let me get this camera set back up. All right, let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. It's too cold. I can't get that metal hot enough to melt that solder. I'm gonna have to wait. Maybe this afternoon when it's 50 some, I can try it again. Unplug my solder gun. Get it here where it won't melt anything, but I don't want it to melt. I think there's solder on there, if you can see it, but not much. But I guess it wouldn't take much. Well, for now we're going to call this a fail, but we'll try it again later. Well, I'll just end with this. At least you know how to do it. You got to realize that whole back window is really cold, like 30 degrees, 35 degrees. So that's a lot of cold to get rid of in order to solder. So I think if you did it on a warm day, a hot day, you'd have some good success. I'm going to have to wait till it warms up. I thought about getting a heat gun, trying to heat up my back glass, but that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Break my back window. Anyway, you can either buy the stuff at O'Reilly's or AutoZone that is more of a glue, but it still has to be above 50 degrees. So give it a shot. Hopefully you'll have better success than me, but at least you'll know how to do it. Now those little metal clips that come off, I used a really small pick and I got under there and lifted the part that connects to the plastic. I put it in that edge, pried it up a little bit and pulled on it and it came out. I think you'll figure it out. But I think you have to take those off in order to do this, because when you heat that metal up, you don't want to melt that plastic. Maybe it wouldn't hurt anything, I don't know, but it's just easier to do everything with the clips off. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody.